Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first Adepticon 2026 information video. I have been requested by the tournament staff to join their staff and help them with communication efforts and to help them with scenario development, rules, calls, etc. And this video is going to be the first of several videos that are going to be reminders, primers, information that our players need for Adepticon 2026. Now, I want you all to know that these are not directed at any given person. These are simply things that we feel that you need to know, so to prevent problems in the future that may crop up as a result of us growing, which we definitely are now. So the very first thing, down in the description below are two links. Those links are to the rules that we are using. This is BFG Remastered. It is just the 2010 FAQ that has been put into a nice and pretty format. This means that if there is going to be a rules delineation or a rules dispute, it is from these books that we are going to be pulling from. Okay? They are in a format that is easily printed. We are not expecting you to print out the entire fleet book. It's over 500 pages long, I think, but maybe it would be a good idea to print out the actual fleet information that is pertinent to the fleet you are bringing. This is very important because we don't want to have to deal with people who have not played Battlefleet Gothic for the last decade, walk in with the orange book and say, "What do you mean things are different now?" This is the first clarification on what rules we are using and how we are using them. It'll be in the Adepticon information. It'll be down below. Number two, it is critically important that all of our players spend time before the tournament reviewing their rules. Spend some time playing the game. Go over your fleet lists carefully before you send them in to us. We are only human. We don't want to have to suffer making a mistake before we, a mistake and then going to the tournament and you discovering only at the tournament that your list is illegal. Now, we're not a bunch of assholes. We're not going to throw you out because you made a mistake on your list. We're not going to, be massive rules assholes in this regard, but we do expect all of our players to have legal lists. And this does mean that if you bring a fleet that is not legal, we may make you remake the list. If you don't have the ability to, we may not be able to let you play. It's not necessarily a matter of just you. It's everyone that you end up playing with, okay? And if you end up playing a game with an illegal list and it's found in round 2, we may have to remove you from the running because you played a match that was with an illegal list and you were only found in round 2. So it's crucially important that all of our players know their rules for their fleet. The next thing, know the rules for your models. Make sure that everyone understands the rules for what goes on a large and on a small base. Okay? This is very important because it is easier than an illegal list. It is easier to make the claim that somebody is cheating if they have the wrong base size, because base size is crucially important to measurement and a lot of other elements in this game. So remember, everybody, if you have a repulsive Grand Cruiser and you have taken that 3rd shield upgrade, it must be on a large base. This applies to every ship in the game. Remember, 10 hits or more, it's 10 hits with 3 shields or more than 10 hits must be on a large base. Any capital ship may take tractor fields to be on a large base if it desires. Some escorts can take large bases like the Grunt. This is very important. Moving on to modeling. Now, we have a lot of Orc players out there that are probably going to start bringing their Hulks after this tournament because the Hulk was positively hilarious and a lot of fun to deal with. Remember that your model cannot hide the size of the base. All right. If you have a large model, we love our 3D printers. We love our custom, we love our custom Orc and Tyrannid players. You must have the base clearly visible underneath the mini. You can't have your mini squatting down on it for the maximum low gravity so it doesn't topple over. I know it's difficult, but there are means for doing this. So make sure you have the right base, and make sure the base is clearly visible for the sake of measuring, especially for things like explosions and other area effect weapons. Now, on to the next element. We are considering either allowing, oh, sorry, not considering. Remember to bring about 300 points worth, or a squad of 6. Let's just go with a squad of 6 escorts, okay? Of the medium to large variety, roughly in the, 240 to 300 point range. Extra. Now, why would I say this? Well, we're going to be removing a couple of restrictions from the rules. We're going to allow people to take Ordo Xenos Inquisitors, for example, and if an Ordo Xenos Inquisitor encounters any Xenos player, that Xenos player gets D6 times 50 points of extra escorts. So if you don't have them, you don't get the bonus. So it's always wise to have a little bit extra on the side. One, in case such a thing happens. Two, if we find there's a problem with your fleet and we have to swap something out. And three, you may want to play bigger games outside the tournament. Also, remember, we are pretty convinced that we're going to be increasing our tournament size to 1,500 points. So be sure to have a little bit of a sidebar going, okay? Don't just bring only your fleet. Bring a little extra just in case something goes wrong. Now, I want to make this abundantly clear. This is not a move towards an authoritarian boot on neck mentality. We are trying to just be fair to everyone. The tournament prizes at Adepticon for Battlefleet Gothic have gotten very valuable. We want to make sure that people that are fighting for them are doing so legitimately. That means that they win legitimately. And that also means that the people who lose have the honor of losing in accordance with the rules. There is honor in defeat, despite popular belief. It just means you were bested and you have to get better. Cheating is something that we really don't like. Now, we don't expect that out of anybody, but as our numbers grow, it's inevitable that we may attract the wrong kind of person. So we need to get in ahead before any of this stuff really happens en masse. So for the sake of the future, everybody, please, as a recap, read the rules, get the rules, review your rules thoroughly, have a sidebar of ships, preferably escorts, and please be mindful of how you are modeling your ships. All right. Now, when it comes to future information about the tournament itself, we literally just came out of that weekend. Information about 2026 is pretty sparse at this point. We're still discussing it. We are still pretty convinced that we're going up to 1,500. We may be extending the rounds by about 30 minutes to compensate. And just for my opinion on this matter, get a couple of games in, like the day before the tournament. Go down to Open Gaming, find your other BFG players, and start really getting a couple of free games in with your tournament fleet. Relearn the rules that you haven't read for over 12 months. So that's all for this Adepticon 2026 information video. We'll see you all next year.